As of the year 2026, the global population currently sits at exactly 8.3 billion people around the world. This animated chart tracks global population growth over the last 2 centuries. Look at how the line stays nearly flat until the Industrial Revolution and then tears upward, spiking to an annual growth peak of roughly 2% in the 1960s. Every modern economic system, our pensions, our housing markets, the very calculation of GDP, was engineered around the assumption that this upward trajectory would never stop. But the trajectory broke. Today, the annual global growth rate has plunged to just 0.84%. Forecasts showed this deceleration continuing over the next few decades, eventually hitting a complete flatline plateau of around 10.2 billion people by the year 2100. We have built global institutions that require infinite expansion, and they are now colliding with a mathematical ceiling. Decades of overpopulation fears have left us blind to the actual danger, a global economic engine that has no idea how to function in reverse. To understand why the engine is stalling, look at where people actually live. More than 58% of humanity now resides in the dense grids of modern cities. In an agricultural society, a child is an economic asset who can work the fields. In a modern urban apartment, a child is a major financial expense. This visual scale illustrates the replacement rate. To maintain a stable population, 2 parents must have exactly 2.1 children on average. The global average is teetering on the edge at 2.2, with many developed nations plunging far below that break-even point. With fewer babies entering the system, the math demands the average age of humanity goes up. Today, the global median age sits at an all-time high of 31 years. The human demographic structure is actively inverting. The traditional pyramid, with its wide base of young workers, is becoming a top-heavy pillar of retirees. You can see this inversion playing out right now across Europe, Japan, and rapidly in China. In these mature economies, rock-bottom fertility rates mean the working-age population is actively shrinking, leaving fewer taxpayers to fund the pensions and healthcare of an expanding older generation. Meanwhile, if you look at South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, you see the exact opposite. These regions hold the last major youth booms on Earth, and their populations are expanding quickly. Because they have the numbers, these emerging markets are taking over as the primary drivers of global demand for everything from basic housing to consumer goods. The modern global economy is now a high-stakes balancing act between a retiring, wealthy North and a young, ascending South. So how exactly does a country grow its GDP when its labor force is actively evaporating? The answer relies entirely on technological intervention. Wealthy, shrinking nations must aggressively deploy artificial intelligence and robotics to execute tasks they no longer have to do. As the labor pool shifts toward machines, the massive cohort of older citizens will dictate where capital flows. Trillions of dollars are moving toward healthcare systems, specialized insurance products, and elder care facilities to support this aging bloc. Conversely, the booming developing world requires massive capital injections into educational technology and urban infrastructure just to manage their growing youth populations. The anxiety of the mid-20th century was entirely misplaced. The human population will not grow infinitely. Success in the 21st century belongs to those who adapt their business models to a stabilized, automated, and definitively older world.